is Congress in the fight against ISIS? That's what one representative wants to know, and she's taking to Twitter to make her case. Using the hashtag CongressMIA, she's calling out her colleagues and urging them to repeal the 2001 authorization for the use of military force. It's a resolution that allowed former President George W. Bush to use military force against terror groups responsible for 9/11 and those who harbored them. That, of course, being al-Qaeda, the Taliban, who harbored them in Afghanistan. President Obama says that 2001 AUMF gives him the right today to fight ISIS and other terror groups. Joining me now, the Congresswoman behind the Twitter campaign, Representative Barbara Lee. Representative Lee, thanks so much for joining us. And I just want to remind our viewers that you are the only member of Congress who voted against the authorization in 2001, if I remember correctly, because you were concerned about what exactly has happened exactly since then, which is that successive administrations have used that authorization to target other terror groups in other countries. How did that happen?
Absolutely, Jim. It was a blank check, and the Congressional Research Service just published an unclassified report that has shown it's been used 37 times. Imagine the unclassified numbers in terms of how many times it's been used. We need to go back to the drawing board, repeal that 2001 resolution, have a debate, and vote on a new authorization. Now, I have to just say the president did present a new authorization 15 months ago. The speaker still won't take that up. Regardless of whether or not one agrees in the use of force, the American people deserve to have their members of Congress talk about the costs and consequences of this new war and have an up or down vote. But the speaker just refuses to bring it up. I don't know why, but that's why I'm moving forward to continue to try to repeal that resolution and to give the Congress 90 days to come up with a new one that's ISIS specific, because we all know and everyone agrees that we have to disable and dismantle ISIS. They're a terrible, horrific terrorist organization.
Now, just remind our viewers that the initial authorization came right after 9/11, said specifically, giving the president the ability to target with military force those responsible for 9/11, correct? As simple as that.
That's what it was. It said it was very broad. It was those responsible for individuals, nation, organization, or harbored those that were responsible or connected to 9/11. ISIS didn't even exist.
Well, it's a great point, because ISIS didn't exist then. I mean, the administration will say that it's connected, but I wonder, is it your view that the military action the U.S. is taking now, for instance, in Iraq and Syria against ISIS, is it your view that that's military action is illegal?
It's my view that they're operating under a 2001 authorization that does not cover what they are using it for at this point. This is a new war footing. It's against ISIS. It's in a new area. And we have to really understand that the American people are demanding that they know exactly what the circumstances are, how long this is going to be, if we know the costs and the consequences. And so, yes, I believe that the current war footing in terms of ISIS is really not appropriate, because the 2001 resolution did not cover that. But it was a blank check. So I have to say it was so broad, it was overly broad. That's why I could not support it.
So the president's in a somewhat odd, you might even say untenable position here, because on the one, as you say, he's introduced another resolution 15 months ago. He says he'd like it, but he does say he doesn't need it, that he could still carry out military action. He'd like to have one. He'd like Congress to get buy-in, you know, a phrase the administration likes to use, but he does kind of cover himself by saying, well, but, you know, legally I don't really need it. I mean, do you buy that kind of fine line that he's walking there?
You know what? What I buy is that members of Congress have a constitutional responsibility to engage in our job and to do our job. And so it's our job authorizations for the use of force. We have three branches of government, of course, and so I'm talking about the United States House of Representatives doing its job. We have been missing in action. The president put forth a resolution. We could take it up if we wanted to, but believe you me, there are a variety of strategies and authorizations that are floating around. We need to take up some of them and have a debate. That's up to us, not the president. The speaker should bring forth an authorization and allow members of Congress, the people's house, to debate the costs and consequences of this new war.
So why everybody likes to talk tough, as you know, about terrorism and ISIS and taking the fight to them. Why won't Republicans in Congress take up a new AUMF?
I'm not sure that the courage is there to do that. And for the life of me, I don't know why. Republicans are elected just like Democrats to represent the people. And it's a constitutional requirement that we do these things. We do our job. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. These are tough decisions, but that's why we're elected, to make these tough decisions. There is no way that Congress should be missing in action in terms of our constitutional responsibility. So I would assume Speaker Ryan does not want to take it up because he probably has a lot of pressure from his caucus not to take it up. But I do have to say, on my repeal amendment the other night, even though it did not pass, there were 13 Republicans who voted for it. We had a total of 138 members who voted for it. So we're going to keep working on it, and we're going to keep moving this forward because we have to do our job. It's wrong, and we're leaving our troops in harm's way. I mean, our troops are doing everything we've asked them to do, and they're doing it without congressional legal authority. So Congress needs to step up, and we need to do our job.
Congresswoman Lee, you took that vote seriously as an American. I thank you for that, and I thank you for taking the time today.
Thank you.